So from the time that you started drinking at Taco Bell to the time that the officers got there, about how long was that?
One beer, that's all he claims. But when the judge starts asking questions, his entire story begins to fall apart. A 40-ounce drink in just minutes, a blood alcohol level nearly double the legal limit, and a past filled with arrests. Is this just a mistake or a pattern that finally caught up to him? Watch closely, because this courtroom moment is about to take a shocking turn.
Maybe 15 to 20, 30 minutes, whatever.
Okay. How much did you drink between that time?
I had a malt liquor. The 211 is a strong beer.
Mm-hmm. Just one?
It was a 40 ounce.
Right. So you drank the whole 40 ounces.
I was drinking out of the thing. After the fact that
you were drinking out of what?
After I stepped back in the car, I started drinking it.
Right. So how much of it did you drink?
I consumed a lot of it.
Okay, so let's just say you drank most of one 40 ounce.
It was going to contain this.
So that's your story, and you're sticking. Hold on. So is that your story, and you're sticking with it? That you drank most of one 40 ounce beer in about 15 to 30 minutes, and that you hadn't drank anything before then?
No, except for that night before, about 2 o'clock that morning, and then whole blood alcohol stays in your blood system added to what I drank.
Okay. So your test on this night after drinking most of a 40 ounce was 0.188. And you're wanting me to believe that that's based on most of one drink, and that maybe you still had alcohol in your system from the day before.
Yes, ma'am. But what I recalling my memory, ma'am, I have no reason to try to trick you, Miss West. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. Like I said, I had alcohol in my system from the night before.
Well, how much did you drink the night before?
Well, I was intoxicated.
So what you're telling me then, if you had that much alcohol in your system from the night before, that you were still probably hold on. Watch where your story's going.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're telling me you had so much in your system the night before that it was going to still be in your blood, and you had just driven to the Taco Bell.
No, I drove into the Taco Bell later on that evening.
You're not right.
But it wasn't a full 24 hours.
Right. So if you're saying that 0.188 is because of the night before, then all likelihood you were drunk when you were driving from the night before, if I'm to believe your story that you only had most of one drink while you were there. See how that doesn't make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
First of all, Miss Judge West, ma'am, I'm asking for mercy, for forgiveness to begin with. I'm not a bad person. Miss West, I completed high school. I had 1 semester in college for auto mechanics. I've served for the community. I worked all my life. The kids was out playing.
Where have you worked?
I worked for Little and Willis when I was a kid at the age 15. After that, I graduated and I continued working. I've been working in the plant for over 30 to 40 years. All my life I've been working.
How many years?
And all different types of jobs all over.
Mark, how many years did you serve in prison? How many years have you been in prison?
First of all,
how many years have you been in prison?
All together with everything, I done did over 10 years.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 58 years old.
58 years old, and for 10 years you've been in prison in DWIs and other things. So what mercy are you asking for from this court when you have 19 misdemeanors and 6 or 7 felonies? Why should she consider something less? I mean, give her a reason why.
Miss West,
what's changed?
I didn't do half of the things that they say I did.
Mark, you pled guilty to them. Okay, that's over with. right? The day for you, in reference to court, the day for you to say, I didn't do this is over. You accepted a plea, okay? I mean, let's cut to the chase here,
Yes,
because she could find the allegations, well, she did, the true and under consideration, and it's 25 to life,
yes,
okay? And I guess the most you've had up until this point is 5 years, correct?
yes.
Okay, so now let's go first to when you were arrested. Were you working?
I'm receiving disability. I can't work no more.
Okay, what is your disability?
I got rheumatoid arthritis. I got prostate problems. My heart is bad.
Are you on disability?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when were you placed on disability?
Like 2020.
Okay, so 2020, you're on disability. So while you're on disability, why are you drinking beer 40 ounces at a time? Or drinking the night before to where you're tired?
There's no excuse.
Explain to him.
I just lost my brother. I lost my mother and my father. And the alcohol just don't bring it. They're not gonna break me.
Okay, so you have a problem.
I have a problem.
One of the things we talked about was, when you came to me, was that you never went into a program.
Never.
You never went into a drug program?
I never had a chance on probation and that.
Well, you got.
Well, what
revoked
about when you
probation.
weren't on probation? What about the times when you weren't in prison? You knew you had a problem and you wanted to stay out of
Yeah,
prison?
well, I got a device since I've been home.
What do you?
No, what, that's since since
Oh,
you've
yes,
been in.
ma'am. I tried.
I'm talking
going-
about the rest of your life. I'm talking about the times that you got
Yes, ma'am.
arrested 43 times for public intoxication, 39 traffic offenses, 17 times you didn't appear in court, 5 disorderly conducts, 4 open containers. I mean, these are the ones that aren't even listed on the pages.
Yes, ma'am.
Pages.
Miss West. They have 5 different other marks here.
Okay, so you're gonna
In the
stick with,
system.
you're gonna stick with that this isn't you.
No, ma'am. I'm not making no excuses. I have very much high respect for the
Well,
officer
but-
of the law.
Okay. Do you
Okay.
really? You
Yes,
do?
ma'am, I do.
So that's the 19 misdemeanors, the assaults, the terroristic threats, the
I-
trespassings, the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your 5th DWI, your 2nd felony DWI. By what you need to understand
Yes, ma'am.
is that by not really taking personal responsibility and making us go through this circus that we've been going through now for an hour and a half of trying to prove that you actually have been convicted of felony offenses
Yes, ma'am.
when you know darn well that you have,
Yes, ma'am.
makes no sense to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Coleman,
I have no questions for this defendant, Judge.
argument.
Just briefly, Judge, you have everything you need, Judge. We're asking that you sentence this defendant to the minimum of 25 years. He put himself in this situation, Judge.
If I
Go
may,
ahead.
Judge. One of the things in reference to the priors, maybe semi my fault, Judge, because if I did not object to him, to me, it would, if he pled true to him, then it would automatically go to 25 to life without the consideration of full range. He's got a problem, and he's been most of his life in and out, and it's alcohol related. I throw one thing out, Judge, but it is alcohol, and he was in a vehicle, and there is a big risk in this, is that you place him on 10 years deferred probation, you find true to the allegations, you send him to safety, but if he screws up, he's looking at a minimum of 25 to life if you find those true, so that if he comes back. Here's the problem is that we don't know what happens when he comes back, what the new offensive violation is in reference to this. But I have done it before, Judge, in other courts where you could give him deferred. And
I can't give deferred on the driving while intoxicated. Now, we've done that on other types of
Yes, you did.
offenses,
That's right.
but I can't do it on
Yep,
this. That's not an
absolutely
option.
right, Judge.
Okay.
So,
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Segura, you're starting with the beginning of this hearing when we were going through the just the nature of the offense.
Yes.
Starting there, we went down the wrong path. It makes no sense. I don't believe it. It doesn't add up to what your blood alcohol level was. How you say what happened that night doesn't line up. It just doesn't. I get that 40 ounces is a big beer, but if you've been an alcoholic for as long as you're talking about, that's not going to get your blood alcohol to what it was that night, which was almost a 0.2. It was a 0.188. And I have already found those 3 prior offenses true. Those are all felony offenses from different conviction dates. I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of driving while intoxicated third or more. Going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections.
One decision, one drive, and a lifetime of consequences. The judge didn't just hear excuses. She saw a pattern that couldn't be ignored. 25 years. That's the price of repeating the same mistakes again and again. Let this be a lesson, because in the courtroom, the truth always comes out. Like, comment and subscribe for more real courtroom moments.